Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. Heart to heart, your kids will always remember the way that you made them feel. So it's very important that you make sure that you're respecting your kids as much as they're supposed to respect you. As adults, we tend to be like, well, what I say go, and I don't care how you feel. I don't care what you think about it. If I say you can't do this, you can't have that, whatever the case is, that's how it better be. And if not, I'm going to chew you out. I'm going to punish you. There's going to be some type of consequence. And that's fine. Like being a parent, you have to have consequences and ground rules, because if not, you'll end up raising kids that have no respect for society, no respect for themselves, and no respect for the next person. So I completely agree with that. The problem is when you are doing consequences that you know yourself is unrealistic or you wouldn't like it done to you. Your kids get smart, you slap them in the mouth, or they skip school, or they get in trouble in class and you're beating on them and calling them names and just being utterly disgusting to them. I'm not saying you should be the type of parent that's like, oh, everything goes, because my child's been disciplined. But at the same time, I've always laid out ground rules, gave her understanding, and I never once called my child out of her name. And I've been hearing that a lot lately, where parents or guardians, I don't know who they are, because we don't know. But when I'm out, people will say you're stupid, but they're cursing at them, and they'll call them names. I'll hear people talk about their kids being promiscuous or H words, or the list goes on. And I just think to myself, one day, God willing, you will get old and you will want those children to be there. And that's the crazy part, because a lot of us parents, there's no parent on this earth that can honestly say that at one point of them raising their children, or even just thinking about having children, have they not thought about, I would like my kids to be there for me. I would want to be surrounded by my kids, as I get older, on my dying bed, whatever the case is. I want my kids to be there for me. At a certain point, I would like to be able to have a good relationship with my kids once they're grown. You don't think I'm just going to have a kid and I'm okay with them just being out of my life. I honestly believe that, especially if you planned it, or even if you did not plan them, but you had a heart to be like, okay, I'm not giving up my child. Somewhere in that equation, you were thinking you would like for that kid to be there with you forever, or as long as God allows. So with that being said, why, when they're children, you can neglect them, you choose a spouse over them, you could choose friends over them, you can choose getting your hair and nails done, going to games, or buying video games, or buying other material things that you want, instead of feeding your kids, or instead of paying for them to go to a sport that they want to be in. Why is that? And then when they get older and they become successful, or even just older, and now they don't want to have a relationship with you, or they become teenagers and they're rebelling from you, then all of a sudden you're supposed to respect your parents. And we want to use the Bible to justify how kids are supposed to honor thy mother and father. But we overlook the fact that it also says parents are not supposed to anger their children. And so you're doing things that are very hurtful. You're not feeding them. You're not there for them. You're neglecting them on some type of level. Just because your kids are 14, 15 years old don't mean you can go on a whole vacation and leave them at home and then come home and expect that everything's going to be fine. Yeah, they may be fine, but they're going to always remember that. They're going to always remember, when I was 13, my mom and dad used to go out all the time. They was never home, or whatever the case is. Just because you come back home doesn't make you a good parent. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting misconstrued. Just because you have your kid living in your home like your roommate does not make you a good parent. You have to communicate with that child. You have to grow them up. You have to give them advice. You have to be their leader, the number one person that they can come to and trust. And if they don't have that, you're not a good parent. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just being real with you. Just because you have them, and just because they're in your home, just because you're the legal guardian, just because you are the primary parent, does not make you a good parent. There's more that goes into it. Just like if you had a spouse, you would want for your spouse to do more than just say, okay, I married you. That's it. I'm not spending time with you. I'm not coming home. I'm not going to respect your feelings. I don't want to hear what you have to say. We cannot discuss anything together. We cannot make plans together. We cannot sit down and have dinner together. But I am your husband. I am your wife because we got married. I read a ring. We have the legal document. That's all we need. You wouldn't want that. So we as parents have to always keep in mind the fact that that's exactly how our kids need us, even more, because they're new in life. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying to figure life out. And then if they're being neglected at home, they're going to grow up and be neglectful themselves in other areas of their life, with their friendships, with their children, with their spouses, with their significant others. They're going to neglect themselves, or they're going to become very selfish with themselves and still neglect everything outside of themselves. So the training starts at home. We're so quick to talk about our kids are bad, or when they grow up, they lost their mind. I don't know what they do. I didn't raise them like that, but did you really raise them? You could have had them in a nice home, make sure they had food, water, clothing, everything that they wanted, but still missed the bar of being a parent. I know that's hurtful. Some of us work 2 or 3 jobs because we're single parents and we have no choice. And I get that. I get that, love. I get that, but I'm just trying to help you understand that no matter what the excuse is, they still need that parenting. And that's why it's so angering that people can walk out on their kids, whether it be the woman or the man. It's so angering because it's not easy. It's not. And kids need a whole community. We all can learn something from each other. And so imagine if we all came together and we gave that to those kids. Imagine how much more brilliant that child would be, and how much more respectful of their bodies, respectful of life they would have. Now it's like teenagers don't even care. They're out shooting each other up and having all these kids and don't care about them and going to jail, and they just don't care because they don't value life. And again, that starts at home because they are not getting the tools that they need. They don't need video games. They don't need Jordans. They don't need makeup. They don't need the newest outfits coming out. They don't need to go to every concert that's out here that they like. They don't need the newest vehicle or the newest cell phones. They need love. And love is something that you cannot buy. It is something that is not found. You can't go to the store and pick up love. You cannot do that. Love is not found in your pockets. Love is not found in your bank accounts. Love is not found in the box of shoes that you just gave them. That's not love. Love is something that they will always remember. It's speaking to the soul. And so when you're able to do that and you're able to instill knowledge, you're able to instill healthy fears, boundaries, everything that they need, instill God into them, instill Jesus into them, instill the purpose of their life, help them to see them, especially through God's eyes, help them. Why are we okay with, just because we struggled growing up or we felt lost, why are we okay with our kids feeling lost? When we are older now and we know better, why can't we trickle that down to them? I'm telling you, kids will always remember. You think they don't care. You think, oh, they're good because I let them do what they want to. You think that. Sometimes they are dying inside and they're jealous and envious of the kids that have more strict parents. They're envious and jealous of the kids that their parents tell them no. And you're thinking, oh, I'm doing a great job because I tell my kid yes to everything. I'm my kid's best friend. You're not helping them. You're not helping them. Quick story time for somebody that I got. It's not quite a testimony, but we'll share it. A young lady was telling me about how when she was seeking love from her dad, and her dad was in the home. She didn't grow up without her dad, but her dad was in the home. She didn't get it. Her dad was always doing the things that he wanted to do. When she wanted to spend time with him, he didn't want to spend time with her. He wanted to just drink, watch his TV, chill. And even on the times when he wasn't doing anything but just working on work because he worked from home, he still did not give her time. When she had questions, he would get mad, especially if it had something to do with a boy. And she never felt like she got that father daughter relationship that she's always wanted. She didn't feel like he wanted to be a dad. And as she got older, she realized that the newer kids that he had, which were 10 years younger than she was, he was loving on them, but it's just she wasn't getting that type of love. So when she started being a teenager and she got into hanging out with friends and hanging out with boys because she wanted that male attention, she lost her virginity. During that course, she felt loved. She felt happy, even though she knew that her dad had told her she couldn't do it. Her mom was not in her life like that. Her mom actually lives in a different state. So she had a stepmom, and her stepmom, obviously, she definitely did not really care because it wasn't her daughter. So she just felt neglected. She had a home, she had clothes, she went to a good school, everything was great on the outside, but on the inside, she felt empty, she felt lost, and she wasn't getting any direction. And when her father had found out about her losing her virginity, he called her every scum name under the earth, all the way down to prostitute, basically. And still did not offer her any reason why he was disappointed. He just let her know he was upset. He name called her. He didn't want to talk to her. He stonewalled her. It was just a really hard time for her. So this video was more so made off of that email that I got. Very sad story. I don't know if her father and her are healthy or anything now, but that was just a story that was shared with me. And I was able to share it. So I just picked out the parts that was most important to add to this video to just let you all know your kids will always remember. And then when that man gets old, he's going to be looking for his oldest daughter to be there. And if he don't fix it, the crazy part is she yearned for that relationship with her father. But he doesn't have any intention on building one with her. We have to do better as parents. But that's all I have to say. Y'all let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the comment box below. Make sure it's respectful though, because somebody's gonna come across this page. They may want to see what people are saying. You know, we all a little nosy sometimes. So they're gonna be going through those comments, and if you got something nasty on there, that's just gonna sway people away from the page. And we are here to uplift one another, help each other grow, and to let people know we're not alone. We all kind of face the same problems, the same battles in life on some degree. So let's just be kind and respectful, non-judgmental, and if you got something nice to say or you got some good advice, go ahead and drop that in the comment box. If not, go on about your business. Or you can send me an email. We can discuss it there in private if you like. Or if you have a testimony you want to share with me, or a story time, or just any advice or any suggestions for a new topic that you want to talk about, let me know and we will go ahead and talk about it there. Or if you want me to share the testimony or advice for you, I will do that. Just let me know by putting share in the email. But I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. And we will talk next time. Bye.